Evening, folks. Welcome back to Wilderness Wargaming. I'm just going to do a quick one here. A little car video. Car videos could be kind of fun because I like to think about things while I'm driving. Always have. One thing I'm thinking, and I kind of got something today that confirmed it, was there's a lot of jumping to conclusions about the new edition coming out in the community, and too much of it is based on, well, this happened in 9th edition, or this is the way Games Workshop always is, blah blah blah, stuff like that. I got news for you. If that's your justification for some major prediction, you need to have more than that. Yeah, that includes if you have a lot of experience, you've been playing for a long time. Yes, it includes if you used to work for Games Workshop and know how they are. You can't, nope, wrong. You can't just go on that. Now, you can use that information, sure, but you need more than just your own personal belief. That's not evidence. You're starting with analysis and you're going into the conclusion without any evidence. And what I'm talking about here is First of all, I've seen a couple incidences of people jump to the conclusion that something's going to be overpowered or broken. First, it was Oath a moment with the Space Marines. There were some people that seemed, oh my gosh, this is broken, it's overpowered. And I've continued to see people jump to the conclusion that rerolls are not going to be less prevalent because we've seen a fair number of rerolls. You can't conclude either of those things. First of all, when Space Marines came out, we had almost no information on anything else in the edition, and it was pretty clearly premature. And when it comes to the rerolls, yeah, we've seen more rerolls than I would have thought, given their claim that there'll be fewer rerolls. I'll grant you that. But the other side of that coin is that we haven't seen all the units, and we don't know to what degree we're seeing the units that have the rerolls more than other things. We may very well have a very biased sample in that regard. So I just like to point that out. Now, the thing that I saw today that was really a bit much was the fact that there's a tournament, I think in Kansas or Nebraska, I can't remember right now, that's not going to allow Craft Worlds, Eldari. I'm going to tell you right now, this is BS, and I'm going to be busy. I certainly wasn't going to that tournament, but if I had been, I would be canceling. That's completely inappropriate. You have no basis to do that, and you shouldn't be. You turn TOs, you're doing it wrong. No, this is not a repeat of the Votan. Now, I understand why, based on the support weapons and the fate dice, that you think it's just going to be a mortal wound hose all over the place. But the Votan were not broken just because of that. The Votan were broken all the way all over. That's been the justification for this. Is, oh, don't you remember Votan? Well, yeah, I remember Votan because we got a whole codex of Votan, and we saw that the whole thing was broken, not just one component. Not just one combo. It was all over the place. You had ridiculous options everywhere. The Land Raider with the Magna Rail cannon was only the most blatant one. But that's saying a lot, because a lot of the lesser ones were broken all by themselves. Even if that Magna Rail cannon didn't exist and wasn't an option for the Land Fortress or didn't have those rules, the army would still have a lot of broken in it. It would not have been appropriate. The points costs reined that in, but they didn't fix it. They just reduced it. You can't say that about Craft Worlds. We don't have enough yet, even with the rules leak, because we don't know what everybody else has. You can't look at Craft Worlds by themselves and say that. And you couldn't for any other army either. That goes for Votan too. Goes for Tau. Goes for Space Marines. It goes for every army. You cannot look at any army by itself and say how overpowered or underpowered it is without looking at the other ones. Now, this leads into the second thing. The second thing is codexes, and I'm trying to think of a good way to say this for a while. Some people are worried that codexes are just going to be overpowered and more codex creep. No, you don't know that. No, it doesn't matter what your experience is. And no, I don't care how loud you insist on it. You're wrong. You don't know that. Now, you might be right that it does happen, but you're not right that you know it's going to happen. You will have guessed correctly, and you need to have a little humility about it. I'm a little tired of hearing this from people just loudly insisting. Because, again, your experience in what Games Workshop in the past doesn't matter. We already saw the World Eaters Codex. That came after the Votan, and it's very different. That one is almost certainly the model for the 9th edition Codex, and I don't see any way that that's going to be anything like the kind of broken that we saw over and over in 9th. Excuse me, that's going to be modeled for 10th edition. I think you need to calm down and be a little more patient with things. And you certainly need to recognize that Games Workshop is run by human beings. Human beings learn from their mistakes. And if you're just going to tell me, oh no, Games Workshop never does, they never do. Yes, they do. They have greatly improved their balance update frequency and consistency, and their release of electronic products to the players. So you're not going years with no attention to a broken edition like you used to. It's just not happening. There's learning going on. Now, learning is sometimes a painful, slow, and sometimes it involves steps backwards process. But they're humans and they will learn from it. Period. End of story. If you're going to tell me they can't, they won't, they just never do, no, you're wrong. You're straight up wrong, and you need to stop it. And no, I don't care what your basis is for that. You are defying everything we know about human nature and psychology when you're making that claim. So don't make it. It's just gotten a little bit tiresome hearing people just insist based on no more evidence than their own beliefs about a company rather than anything else. Now, yes, we could see some broken stuff come out. There might be some broken stuff at release, but we're not at that point yet, and we won't be, and we won't know on release when we have it all either. You need to give it at least a couple weeks to get some games in, see if your predictions were correct. If you can't accept it, you have to wait. If you're so cocksure about your opinion that you just don't see any way it could possibly be wrong, well, sorry, you know what? No, that's not how things work. I have my opinions. They could be wrong. I could be wrong about everything. I just put out a big video about where I think all the Army rules are. I could be way off base with all of that. I accept that. And if I'm off base, hey, I'm off base. It was a prediction, not a proclamation of truth from on high. So I would encourage everyone to take this stuff with a grain of salt when they hear it. And if you're running across TOs that are making these pronouncements in that amount of, with that lack of information, I would encourage you not to go to that tournament. Find a different one. That's just not okay. Tournament organizers, don't do it. You're wrong for doing it. Fix yourself. Thanks for watching. Please remember to like, subscribe, and comment down below, and click the notifications bell for more great content from Wilderness Wargaming. And I'll see you back here real soon.